All right, time to service this transmission, the hydraulics. On this one, the hydraulics control, of course, is the transmission. It controls the front end loader and power steering. And regular maintenance to service them, I'm not too sure what it is. I'm guessing maybe 400 or 600 hours. I am at 475 hours right now, I believe. But the big thing is I noticed my oil looks milky. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Can you see it? Right there. This should hold somewhere in the area about 7.5 gallons of hydraulic fluid, transmission hydraulic fluid. And this is what I've got. And that's what I've used last time. And these are 2-gallon containers. There you go. So I've got 8 gallons here. All right, let me get underneath and let's get this set up. Let's drain some oil. All right, the first thing we're going to do is unscrew this right here. Here's your drain plug for the transmission. This is one of them. I have got a 1-inch socket on it. And it feels a little loose. This must be metric, but I don't have a metric socket that big. So let's go ahead and see if I can't break it loose. There we go. Just punched myself in the head. All right, we're going to take this out now. I have a 5-gallon pail because it will fill the pail after you get going. Alright, if you can see, kind of has that milky look to it. Alright, this came out of the transmission alone, so this is almost right at 5 gallons. Now, I'm stopping right now. Alright guys, here's something that a lot of people don't know in these old tractors, what's in here. Inside this spot right here, this round cap, you can take out that bolt, 12 millimeter, take that 12 millimeter out. In here will be a spring and a long tube. The tube is going to be, some of them are a fine mesh, some of them are just a lot bigger grooves, but the goal is we're going to take out each one of these screws right here, these two, about 3 or 4 rounds each, maybe 4, and then we're going to tap on this to get this to move. We do not want to remove all the screw on one side and then let's start to remove this and it kinks sideways and break off one of these caps, one of these ends. That's not what we want to happen. Alright. 12 millimeter socket. I'll put the oil can under after. Once we get it moving. I just broke that one loose. That one's loose. We'll remove them a few turns. Alright, so let's remove it. It's coming out slowly. Like I said, that will be spring on the back side of this. We don't want the spring to shoot out. We'll control it. Okay. So what's in here is kind of like a filter, you would say. Some of them, I don't think anybody has a true filter. I think everybody's got some kind of a screen. See how that's loose? Okay, that one just came out. Set that down there. You see the spring? Hold on here. See if I can't catch it. Here's the spring. Right there. Alright, now what we're going to do is going to grab this and pull it out. There you go. There's some more oil coming out. And this is basically your filter screen slash catches everything that's in there. I'm going to let that hang and drain off like that real quick. It is dirty, I can see it. I'm going to scoop this out of there real quick, guys. Let's look at what we got. Don't mind the drain pan, but I'm just trying to show you what this looks like. You see all that debris? All that stuff on here? That could be either metal shavings, it could be anything, dirt, dust, whatever it may be. That is your filter for your transmission, your hydraulics, right there. Every bit of it. Alright, we've got that removed. Now we're going to clean this off really good. I got my brake clean. I'm going to spray that down really easy. All we're trying to do is just clean off the surface. If there's any dirt, grime, get rid of it. Alright. Okay, here's my screen that goes back in this transmission. And I went in the house and used soap and water and really scrubbed it really good because it's pretty thick of crap. So anyway, it goes back in, hole in first. I'm going to slide that back all the way in. Next thing we're going to do, here is the cap. Okay, we had an O-ring. I took the O-ring out, cleaned it up really good. Everything's really clean, but you want to add just a dab of a good silicone. The silicone is a gasket maker, something that it repels the oil. The seal will still happen. You don't need much. I'm just going to dab it here and there, and then you're going to spread it around. You just want a thin layer. You don't want to go too big because you don't want that stuff to go inside there either. Just a nice thin, very thin layer. Make sure none of the silicone gets inside. You don't want that in on your screen. Okay, there's that. See, looks pretty good. I got my 2 bolts I'm going to need, and we're going to bring all this in together as one. Now this spring goes inside on top of that right there as you see it. Okay? You're probably not going to be able to see me put it because it's going to get dark, but I'm going in. Let's get my bolts in. Once again, you want to bring the bolts in together, not just one and then the other. You want to bring them in together. We don't want to snap this cap. There's that. That's touching. That's touching. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tighten it down. I do not know what the torque specs on that is, but I just know you're not wrenching it hard. I snugged right there. That's a snug. And I'm going that much more. Okay, there we go. If you look, you might be able to see just a little bit of the silicone starting to squirt out. Now we have 2 more places. Alright guys, next we're draining differentials. So many people don't know about this, but it's all the same fluid. We have one plug here. We have the other plug is way over there, if you can see it. We're going to pull both of those out, and we're going to drain the oil out of that. And this is a 17mm socket. Alright, let's see if you can see it now. And as you can see, we've got a lot more oil coming out of the differential area. I'm going to keep my hand in there. Okay, there we go. We're fine. There you go. So we have 2 sides to do, and that will completely drain all your hydraulics. A lot of people didn't know about that. There's oil in here. All right, we're down to drips. Let me go put this plug in, and then we'll do this other one. So, and we are draining. All right, this is what that filter and the rear end assembly, the differential to the 2 quarters. And you can see it's about half full. So the first time was 5 gallons. We're just over half full, so that's 7. So we're about right around the area of about 7 gallons of hydraulic tractor oil. Now, I'm going to show you where the two fill zones are in this. One of them is right here. Okay, here's the fill, and this is a vent tube. Let's go ahead. I know this for sure. This vent tube is plugged up. Now, I need to break that loose, but I'm going to show you. You can't see it, no light. Full of mud, see it? Full of mud. So we need to go ahead and clean that out. I'm going to break this loose and I'll bring you, let me see if I can't do it with this right here. Alright, took the tube off. It was easy to do. And now we're just going to go ahead and unscrew it. Let me do it where I don't take the light off of you. This is one fill zone. Right there. Of course, you want to make sure it's clean. I always use a finger when my fingers are clean. That way dirt sticks to it, nothing gets in there. And that is the inside of your transmission. Next fill zone is back here. And it's the same type plug. Right there. See if we can get more light on it. Just pull that off. There we go. We'll take that off. There you go. And here's the inside of it. And you can see it's dirty. That's that back one. It's plugged up. See that? We need to clean that out. Alright, you can clearly see right through it now. It's all cleaned out. Alright, now let's go fill this thing up. Alright, here's the fill hole. We're going to put a funnel in here. And this is 2 gallons of oil that we're going to put in this hole. I'll show you the fill mark where it's supposed to be when we're done. We're probably going to go ahead and put 2 of these containers in this spot here. On that back where I showed you the other spot, we're probably going to go ahead and add 1 there. So that'll be a total of 6, and would leave us somewhere around another 1 quart to 2 quarts of oil that we need to put in, but we will know more when we get it all in there. See how clean and nice that oil is? Alright, let me go get another one. Remember, all this oil will eventually go in between transmission, the hydraulics, differentials. It will all end up in it on its own, but we can do it faster by pouring it in different areas. And this oil is $36 a container. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get set up to do the back one right now. Alright, there's the funnel. I'm going to pull the other. Whoop, making a mess, Tony. This is the next 2 gallons. This here is filling up the differential, but like I said, it does feed the whole thing. The differential transmission, it will eventually end up together. All the oil. Alright, so we basically put all our oil that we need to put in back here. Alright, and what I'm going to do now is put my plug back in, put my hose back in. I won't have to mess around with this stuff here back here anymore. And I'm going to show you something what I did do to help with this. Alright, you see that little, it's actually a wheel bearing. I put it on the hose to make the hose bend over. If you see, it's at a bend. I didn't want it straight up in the air, so less likely for water to get into it. So if you see what I'm saying, I just added weight to it so it bends over. It does, you can blow through it. So it's open. So now we're going to, our fill plug along with this, and we'll start it here. If you see right there, it says oil at the bottom. Alright, I'll show you what we're going to try to do here. You see that lens, okay? We need to have the oil somewhere around halfway up the lens is where we need to be. That is where we show where our oil level is. So I need to pour oil in here until we see it coming up. I'm guessing we need to be another quart, maybe 2 quarts. We will be there. All right, but this is what I was trying to show you. See the oil level, how it's halfway? All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put my fill back in. I need to start this up. I need to run the hydraulics a little bit, get some of the air in, the new oil through there, and then we need to let it sit and see where we end up at. But there's the oil level where it should be at all times, right there. All right, if you can see it, we're doing pretty good. We're just a hair low, not much, maybe a cup worth. And I think what I'll probably do is go ahead and just let it set. I let this thing run for about 5 minutes, went through the hydraulics. That's where we're at. We'll just see if this comes down a little bit more, fills up more. If it doesn't, which I doubt it will because it usually stays right there. So I'll probably add just a little bit more oil in there, and we're going to call this done. I'm glad I did go ahead and change this. It needed it, as you've seen. And got that filter cleaned out, that screening. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to clean the battery terminal post, check the battery. I clean the air filter. Oil still got another 50 hours to go before I can change the oil. But I think I'm done. I'm going to say I'm done. Alright guys, I'm going to go. Hopefully you've seen and understood everything I talked about by changing this transmission oil. Hydraulic oil for this whole unit. I have an L2350, but pretty much I bet you a lot of tractors are the same way. Alright, we're going to go. You'll have a great day. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, and if you would, give me a thumbs up.